Hi, what's up? Welcome again to another edition of Ricans. Today we're gonna talk about a little bit of Bad Bunny because we gotta talk about him.
Yes, yes.
And then from there, we're gonna talk about some Starfleet Academy, and after that, it's straight up throw hands, all right? Superhero Rican style, baby. So, as always, we're gonna get into it. So hit it.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerdorican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
What's up, mi gente? Welcome back to another edition of Nerdoricans. Oh my God, I'm exhausted in a way because there's been so much emotions that I've been feeling through and thinking about since, yes, Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. I'm gonna tell you, yo, mi gente, yo, Bad Bunny, gracias, mucho amor por lo que tú hiciste. You brought our culture to the forefront. But the most important part, I mean, everything else aside, the most important part was that message at the very end. Love is stronger than hate.
Yeah.
That is the most perfect message that you could send out to the world. And I implore the humans of the planet, I'm not talking black, white, no, humans of the planet to please listen and look at it and think. Love does conquer all, man.
Yeah, it does.
It does. And I love the whole spectacle of it because it took me back. I mean, further back for me, I know it went back to the time of my mom when you had the sugar canes, like Campos. But my favorite part was seeing La Bodega and the guy that was doing the piraguas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he was telling the history of the Puerto Rican diaspora, like started out in Puerto Rico, and then it went from Puerto Rico to, he went to New York, where he ended up in New York, which was the movement of Puerto Ricans in the 1950s to America. Like, so like he went through like a whole
gambit.
Story gambit, like seeing all the people, like, there was just so much that,
See, it's like
I can't even.
it gets to you here. It's like I'm just gonna be like, yo, I'm a dude. I'm gonna ball out because it was so good. But one thing I did not realize, and then I followed and found out that scene with the couple being married were an actual couple getting married. Long story short, they sent out a bunch of invitations. And then they sent out one invitation to one particular celebrity to see if he'd be part of it. And the team called back. I mean, how random could that be? And then they were on a Zoom call with Bad Bunny. They said, why don't you have your wedding here in the Super Bowl? You know what? I said the same thing they said. You're not coming. We're not having it. Everybody. And then go to the Super Bowl itself. And that cake. Ooh, that cake was this. When I saw that cake being, I was like, damn, that's cake, bro. But it was so beautiful because that's how a wedding looks like,
Little
Boricuas.
kid falling asleep when
oh
the
my
thing was such a
God,
good
the
touch.
kid falling asleep, that was me. I'm not gonna lie. Back when I was that young, I was in me.
Speaking of the thing, the couple who got engaged were also a real couple.
They were.
The guy
it was a real couple. Bad Bunny signed as a witness to the marriage certificate, so they actually said I do's to each other. They exchanged winks. They were married. Pingo. That's it. The whole aftermath of it, perfect. I have to say those are the luckiest couple right there. There is anywhere because they got that opportunity, on just a random piece of mail. So yeah, throw something out to Mark Anthony. Yo, I got a wedding coming up. You want to come?
I think one of the funniest things to me though was I remember at the end when he was going through all of the different places in America and he was listing them all and. On TikTok, some of the funniest videos were popping up when at the end he said Canada, and people were like, "Me, Canadian? Like we're included? Like so now that's our primos and primas now." But yeah, he represented. He called out cultures that weren't usually mentioned, and he was representing everybody, and I've never felt much more seen than I have in that moment. Also with the message that he's sending, that love conquers hate, and I like you said that's a very important message now
Very
in today's
extremely,
climate and just in all
extremely
general.
important message, especially in this time right now. The way things are getting so divided, you just have to start waking up and looking at it and saying and repeat that message in your head: love conquers hate. So you got to ask yourself, what are you hating? What are you hating? And does it make any sense? And you know what? From that point, you should be embracing love, because trust me, it will embrace you. So with that said, you know.
Speaking of love and embracing the idea of love conquering hate, there's a lot of shows that actually do touch on that topic as well that are going out. And one of them we are watching is Starfleet Academy. We're representing our Starfleet Academy pins that we got at Comic-Con. I was so happy that I got signed. I literally went, I was like, I'm getting my science pin, and I got it, so I was very, very ecstatic. But yeah, no, Starfleet Academy is also really in the forefront right now of that representation of putting the message that love conquers hate, that the idea of inclusion is what we should be aiming for, not exclusion.
Right.
And it's just amazing to me. A lot of people are speaking up against the show, and a lot of the concrete that they have has nothing like of basis. It's just, oh, well, funny enough, what I have seen a lot of people saying, like, this is not my dad or my granddad's Star Trek. And funny enough, Dad, you did you not start watching Star Trek when you were like 7? So
9
is
to
this
be
your
exact.
Star Trek? Is
Yeah,
this...
and I don't see where it's not my Star Trek, because everything it encompasses, from the diversity to infinite, you know,
infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
Exactly. All those things were there in the very first place, in the very beginning. And I'll even hint to one person in particular that it definitely had defined in the very beginning, Nichelle Nichols, Uhura, okay? The first lieutenant female on a starship. So even if it was in the military, whatever, she was there, and he made it a point to make sure that she was seeing. Why? Because he made sure the camera was panning behind Kirk, and she was right invisible, right there, so you could see it. There she is. She may be a communications officer, but she's a lieutenant. Okay, she orders people too. And there was only one episode that I can remember where she actually stepped down from communications and was working navigation. So now the camera's panned in front of her and with the captain. She stepped down from one position and took over another, which made sense because in Strange New Worlds, Gooding playing the iconic role, they showed that she knew how to do other stuff because they were doing a rotation of training from security, communications, Starfleet operations, engineering. So basically, if she had to fill a spot, she could do it because she got training on it, and that made the most sense in the world. Yeah. But the fact that she's a woman doing it made no freaking difference as far as I'm concerned, because quite frankly, anyone could have done the job, and I'm glad it was her. So at least it puts a staple point to everyone out there that, yeah, women can do this. You know, I don't see why you have to exclude it out for any reason.
Well, not even that. Just I think Gene Roddenberry was not genius, yes, but he was also like the definition of love conquering hate, like the idea of inclusion. That's why I called it the IDIC, the infinite diversity, infinite combinations. Like he truly believed in that idea of unity, of a people, of no lines, nothing keeping us separate from each other, that we are one, and that's all that should matter at the end of the day, and that we should be moving forward together, looking to, you know, grow as one and keep moving forward as one. But yeah, Star Trek has never strayed from that message. And I think anybody who watches Star Trek, and I'm a big original series fanatic, so if you can watch the original series and not get that message and try to be like, oh, that's not what they were trying to tell us, and I'm sorry to tell you, I don't care how old you are, you missed the point. It went right over your head. You did not catch it, and that's really sad.
There's never an iteration of Star Trek where the idea, the whole, how can I say, nucleus of what Gene Roddenberry was creating has been lost. It's always been in every Star Trek. Including Starfleet Academy. Most importantly, especially Starfleet Academy. Yeah. Because I guess people are missing the point, and I was just discussing it over the morning, whereas I'm saying, yo, this is my Star Trek, you know, from my days. This is it. But here's the thing that, as I pointed to her, Kirk, Spock, Janeway, Picard, Archer,
Sulu.
Sulu.
These are
All
so-
these are captains, and we all love these captains. They all brought something. They brought their game when it came to a captain. But guess what? They were also a cadet. They didn't know how to be that at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, they were learning, and that's what this is. This what this show is about. This is the future captains, lieutenants, security officers, doctors, lawyers. You name it. These are the future that's going to be going out into space and exploring. You know, now that they've recovered, they're now opening the program and exploring. So yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of wet behind the ear cadets. They're gonna be what they're gonna be, adolescent at times. They're gonna have their own opinion at times. But at the end of the day, when they're fully trained, they're gonna be trained Starfleet officers who are gonna do the job and do it well. And that's what the show is about. So you're seeing their character development from wetback kids to Starfleet officers, and each week they demonstrated that they can rise to the occasion when necessary, especially when it comes to a crisis situation, whether it's helping someone medically or an enemy in front of you while they're out there exploring, even though it's a lesson. But sometimes you just never know when the lesson becomes a reality, and you got to step up. In the same way, like in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, that ship was full of nothing but cadets.
Yeah.
Nothing but cadets, but they were attacked by Khan. And he was out to kill them. And while some of them have died, some also have survived. Why? Because their training took over. They did what was necessary to keep the ship together and save lives and stop Khan. It wasn't just all Kirk and his strategy. It was those cadets who decided to, put their cadet pants off and put on their
Speaking of cadet pants.
Oh
that
God,
seems
yes.
to be like, I'm so glad you said that, because it's fun, like I wholeheartedly agree with what you said, but I don't think like that's also like, I don't hear a lot of people talking about that being an issue. The big issue is there's too many women in the cast, which I find hysterical because Stranger World is 90% women in their cast as well. That's why I jokingly said Pike is a girl dad. And I was like, literally his whole crew is girls. And then also Jaden, the Klingon Jaden. Him wearing a
skirt.
It wasn't. Well, it
looks like a skirt, but it's
called
fine.
a skint.
It's fine.
It's called a skint, right?
skint, yeah.
And we were on our way here, and I pulled it up, and I was like, I distinctly remember in Stranger World seeing a few characters wearing the skint, and I was like, I know though that there are earlier iterations because they wanted to do it in the original series, but it was not allowed at the time. Same thing where Gene had talked about. We had seen George Takei talk about Gene Roddenberry actually wanted to include same-sex couples in the original series, but because of the pushback from the interracial kiss, they were like, we have to do certain things differently to integrate it. But the fact that him wearing the skin was such a big deal, but in the next generation, there's clearly multiple male characters wearing the skint as well. So it's like, it's always been there, so I don't understand why people are like, oh my God, a Klingon wearing a dress, a guy wearing a skirt. It's always been a part of the canon. Those uniforms are actually technically supposed to be gender neutral, whether the female or male. They're both gender neutral. So anybody could wear the outfits how they want. So I just find it hysterical that they pick apart these things that are just so minuscule, that are just really make no impact on anything, but ignore the core message of, hey, unity. What we're trying to do.
So true. So true. I mean, the uniform represents something, but it doesn't represent masculinity, femininity, and anything like that. It represents what Starfleet is. Starfleet is exploratory. They're out there and they're on a humanitarian mission. They're out there to help people and explore.
There you go,
they're not out there to say, they're not the fashion police and say, oh, that's ugly. No, it's got to go above the knee, not below the knee.
Just like, as you just said, humanitarian, and I said that earlier today, that when people fight against those like things, like those little minuscule ideas, but then they really don't have no basis for like why it bothers them. I would love to generally ask you, what is your issue with seeing humanity portrayed on screen in all its facets? Just because it's something you don't agree with or you don't like doesn't mean that it's not a part of humanity, right? So, and that's what Starfleet represents, humanity, and the idea of that moving forward, like to boldly go where none have ever gone before. And on that note, we'll be back with some fighting words.
Yeah, we're gonna be throwing hands.
I've
sorry,
never hit my dad before, but I'm ready.
Yeah. No. That's what you think. We'll be right back. Mira.
You know that.
Do you see me standing tall? I have it all, but lost it all. A wife, a child, a world to see. But all I want is you proud of me.
Rican battle of the superhero without power. And here it goes. The rules are, I will count to 3 and you're going to say one person. And then you have to defend that person. Who will win? The beast standard. Or would it be low? Let's get ready to rumble! All right, great. Ladies and gentlemen. No, we don't got that.
Nope.
We don't.
Nope.
Here we go with the game stuff.
Then again, when you see this thing underneath us, that's our GoFundMe. We need the money for this.
We need new sound effects.
Mhm.
All right, y'all got your first person ready? Locked in?
A randomly person? Okay.
Keep it in mind. At the same time.
Okay.
Ready?
Mhm.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Versus Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Oh
So I
my
had to
God.
move him.
Okay. Now, Mo, defend him. Why would he be the best? Why would he defeat Ghoul?
Even though they're both more or less evenly matched in martial arts, I think the edge is still going to go to Matt Murdock. I mean, still, he's been training, and though he has enhanced senses, he's still been training as a child. So I think the edge in fighting skill itself is going to go to him. Youth and experience, of course, might go to my opponent, but that's only if he's in the Lazarus pit, in which they're not going to have that, because then they're evenly matched.
All right, Ghoul. What's up, Ghoul?
So Ra's al Ghul has been training for centuries, right? It's not just a matter of like a couple of decades, like centuries. He's got centuries of knowledge of fighting skills, of what he can and can't do, whether he is young or old. Because remember, this is the power of hand-to-hand combat. No actual special, his little special ability. Matt Murdock wouldn't have that. He would have his fighting skills. But can his fighting skills go even to bat with Stick? And Stick is old as hell.
Sure.
So
All I say is that Ra's al Ghul can't fight in the dark.
that's okay. No, yes he can. Yes he can. Ra's al Ghul is a master. First of all, if Bruce Wayne could do it, Ra's al Ghul is the one who taught him to do it. Okay, so there's no Ra's al Ghul can fight in any climate, any way.
I'm saying my boy can fight in the dark. He's got the physicality. I mean, he's like I said, you don't underestimate him in any way. And those specific senses will put him in an edge in the dark over other people. I'm gonna say other people. I'm not gonna just say just one.
If this was Stick versus Ra's al Ghul, I might give it to Stick because Stick naturally had that talent. He didn't need some chemical spill to give him that ability. Whereas because of that chemical spill, Ra's al Ghul, yes, he has the Lazarus pit, but again, natural skill and talent that he is carrying over body to body. So.
Comment below who you think win this battle.
And why?
And why?
Bring on the next one.
Three, 2, 1, go!
Oh, what? Who said Batman? I said Mike Guy from Naruto. This is gonna be a fun one because
It is gonna be a fun one because
Do you want to go first?
Batman
ladies first on that one.
Oh.
First of all, Mike Guy, I'm not a lady. I am a man. I don't even know how to pretend to be him. My guy is in Naruto. Yes, they have the special abilities of fighting with the jutsus or whatever. But my guy stands alone because he only utilizes just hand to hand, nothing else. And my dude can go toe to toe with people who have the abilities to do the little jutsus and shadow clones or whatever, and he still takes them out one by one. He is also a Bruce Lee representation. So, yeah, no, there's no. My dude.
Batman, got a rebuttal?
Oh, definitely a rebuttal. I mean, I am Bruce Wayne. I'm rich. That's one of my powers alone as it is. And I have gone around the world and studied 120 different forms of fighting, not only in the light, but also in the dark. I even went on taking on people like Ra's al Ghul, or better yet, Vandal Savage, and even try to learn his old style. So I think I got the edge when it comes down to straight hands, because
Nah.
even though my gadgets and all might be an edge, but when it comes down to it, I've taken down people with just my bare hands
But you
alone.
see all that money and toys. This is a fight with hands, my guy. What do you got? Real straight
Where I
hands?
went to train, I didn't need my money or
I wear
toys.
weights that are like like almost 200-pound weights on my hands and legs. Like, nah, man. Like, there's
I do
no,
about I do about 500 push-ups a day.
Skill.
I train my
Same
body
here.
to be a weapon. I am
I
a
had
weapon.
broken legs and I was still doing the most. All right.
I
So
had
no.
my back broken
No.
by a roided out
No.
villain, and I still came back and kicked his ass.
Yeah, with help, not on your own, like me. So ain't no way. Money can only buy you so much. Actual skill, that's a talent.
Well, that's what actual skill got me in 120 different forms. So I can multiply beat you more than one way. And I have the most intellect mind. I know and I anticipate 10 steps ahead what's going to be happening to my
10 steps,
appointment.
I got 30.
Okay. We'll see about that.
All right. Well, like super chill there.
Yeah, right?
Batman versus my guy. Let us know right in the bottom. All right.
Three, two, one, go!
Black Widow.
Wolverine.
Woo! Black Widow versus
First of all,
Wolverine.
Black Widow's using her vagina.
I'll accept it as a defeat. Hello.
No, the Black Widow, first of all, surviving the Red Room, being able to fight, her powers come from her ability to adapt, which was long before she was given the super soldier serum, the Black Widow serum. So she has actual skills, and like not just like, and she utilizes dancing in her art. Whatever. Wolverine's
I'm
gotten his
over
ass
200
handed to him
years
multiple
old.
times by Black Widow.
I've fought so many wars, I've lost count. Healing factor, which is unfortunately natural to my mutant ability. So try and kill me, but be always watching your back, because I'm going to come up and I'm going to get you.
Just because you can't
Okay?
die doesn't mean you
But
can't
then
live.
in the later years of life, they gave me adamantium skeleton, which I can't get rid of. So I get one hit, she's done. She's done. I have feral senses, so I can smell her when she's coming. And trust me, I don't care if she tries that vagina. I'm going to smell that vagina coming.
Everyone can smell Wolverine coming like 10 miles away, too. So that's not even a whole
Well, I
thing
make
of
a sound
whatever.
out of it, too, so they are going to get me, too.
Wolverine is known to be the stinkiest person in the Marvel
But
universe.
I am the
First
best
of
at
all,
what I do.
No, you're not. First of all, you know how many times Black Widow has kicked Wolverine's ass? Multiple times.
Mhm.
That Wolverine has no standing when it comes to actual combat.
Actual
Cool, yeah.
combat?
Take away the knives and what you got? You're just an angry little man.
I'm an angry little man, but I can hurt someone with that kind of anger. I do, because
Black Widow
I still have
feelings.
natural superior strength of a man because of my mutant ability, of course. But that's something I'm born with, and that's something I can't get rid of. Straight hands? Yeah. She might have some agility, but I also have agility too. I've taken on beasts like the Hulk and given them something to think about when it comes down to it. So I've met brute force. I've also taken on people like Daredevil. Those have finesse. I've taken them on finesse, and I've given them something to think about too. So as far as the girl is concerned, well, I guess vagina's you're gonna have to hit me with.
What's funny is that you think that Wolverine can think.
When it comes to taking out someone, yeah, I already know who I'm dealing with, and if I had to, I could.
No, Black Widow is definitely stronger.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean anything. See, people who have no actual like sense of self say that. Oh, it's a girl, and then drops them every damn time. So that's why that's not an issue. Let them talk. Let them have their little hot air moment, because that's all it is, hot air.
Hot air gonna bite into her ass with my fangs. You see.
All right, well, we have Wolverine and Black Widow. Who won? Now I want to do a two-part question. Who do you think will win the battle? Well, who won this debate? Was it Wolverine or Black Widow?
Say again?
Who won that debate?
That was a very hard one to go into, because realistically speaking, Wolverine, I'm sorry, would never win. He can't fight women.
Let's go. All right. Well, we're on the fourth battle of superheroes without superpowers. You got yours?
I'm saving my best one for last. But
Okay.
You got it?
3, 2, 1, go!
Lady Shiva.
Lady Shiva.
Lady I can't make this up, but she is a character in the
She
DC.
didn't get to say her first. She was like, wait.
What? Who's that? Who?
You're gonna have to defend yourself really hard, because I choose Mikasa Ackerman.
Mikasa Ackerman. Who? No.
We are watching. First of all, spoiler alert: we are now watching Attack on Titan behind the scenes. So Dad doesn't know everything about Mikasa. So what I'm about to throw out is probably gonna.
Okay.
All right.
Mind you, Lady
Let the
Shiva.
battle go.
Lady
All right.
Shiva is considered the most deadliest skilled hand-to-hand fighter in the DC universe at whole. So any bitch up in front of me, she getting her ass handed
Okay, so
up.
first of all, what is Lady Shiva? Can I see their stats?
Oh. But ain't Mikasa supposed to battle no matter who it is?
Yeah, first of all, okay, so cool. Mikasa, right? I come from a bloodline of warriors who were literally bred to be the ultimate fighters. Is it a genetic DNA, like intrinsically built into me, that when I need to fight, I'm a warrior and I fight. There's no, even if I wanted to give up, my body will physically not allow me to give up. It will start fighting for me, even if I'm telling myself, just let me die. It will keep fighting despite my wanting to die. I am built and bred for fighting.
Well,
Lady Shiva?
like I said, Lady Shiva, one of the world's deadliest fighters in hand-to-hand combat, and she trains herself in lethal fighting skills. So she's not going in and go
The first person I
play
killed-
patty cake,
First person I killed was when I was 8 years old, right?
She's gonna slice where it counts and kill and kill your opponent.
All I'm hearing is, oh my gosh, she's a deadly fighter, but I'm not hearing facts. I'm not hearing anything
Fact,
given
she's
to me
taking
about
out
their weapons.
Batman.
I'm
She's
not
taking
getting-
out the Bat family
That doesn't
single-handedly herself. She's trained with the hand, so that's in itself. And she knows, like I said, lethal fighting. I mean, there's
do I.
hand-to-hand combat where you can figure it out, and then there's lethal combat where it's just training to hit a lethal spot. Bang, that's it,
I'm
done.
trained to kill Titans. That is my job, all right? To not only kill Titans,
I am a
but
Titan,
to take out.
but in
and
little
you know
form.
what? Guess what? I'm taking you out.
Ooh. On a one-on-one, hand-to-hand, we're gonna see about that one.
And God forbid you got Aaron kidnapped. I'm fighting even harder.
Well, okay, well, I don't need Aaron, but hey, it's gonna get real interesting, real fast, and real bloody.
I was about to quote the episode, but I was like, I can't curse like that on the stage.
Lady went to Mikasa, and let's say who won that battle.
But I can say the B word though, right?
All right, well,
First
we're
of-
on the last battle, ladies and gentlemen. So here it is. Let us know what you think so far.
3, 2, 1, go!
Taskmaster.
Spock. First of all, I could go against you right now on your Taskmaster thing, because all you can do is copy. You have no original skills. All right. Whereas I am a master of multiple fighting techniques, including Susman, right? Which is a conglomerate of also different techniques as well. Like, and I'm 3 times more powerful than any human being. 3 to 4 times possible. And that me holding back. If I was unleashed, the wrap. I'm ripping you limb from limb.
Again, my ability to mimic and see my opponent and copy exactly what he fights. So all of his fighting techniques, once I have a look, even if it means taking one blow, which won't be much of a, because I always need to be a way to get out of it where it affect me so much. But again, once I read it, no, next skill. But as far as the Vulcan is concerned, well, though he has superior strength and though he has skill, he's still flesh and blood. All it takes is hitting the right vital organs or any part of his body that will disable him, and it's a wrap.
You know, fun fact, so are you, flesh
Mhm.
and blood, right? Again, I reiterate the idea, taskmaster, you can only do certain tasks. You are not a master of any craft, all right? You have no abilities that you can carry with you other than what you can see and copy. You are nothing but a literal blueprint. Like, I'm the blueprint, bro. Like, there's no nothing. Like, and again, I'm not just fighting with my hands. I'm fighting with my mind. I'm fighting with my logic. Just because you think that you've adapted that does not mean that there are tricks up my sleeve that you do not know. Also, nerve pinch, real quickly, takes you out in 1 second.
Got to get to it first.
She said nerve.
I know, the Vulcan nerve pinch. Got to get to it first. And if I already know and understand your fighting style, that's not going to happen.
You act like copying means that you understand. Copying is just copying. To actually understand is to actually like inhibit it and to know it. You didn't learn it. You're just copying it.
That's what makes me deadly. I can match your
Doesn't
I
make you
can match your
deadly.
skill with your own skill.
It makes you unique. I'll give you that.
It's like you're
Doesn't
fighting
make you deadly.
yourself. So how do you beat yourself?
Easy, multiple times. I've done it, my guy. Mentally, physically, emotionally, I've always overcome myself. I am my worst enemy. There's nobody who could top that.
And I have taken down many also other fighters in my years of being created as the Taskmaster.
That's
I've
cool.
taken on Captain America, shield to shield. I've taken on the Black Widow, skill for skill.
And yet you still don't have your own comic.
No. Okay. That's the only one. But wait, Spock doesn't have a line himself. He's always
Yes,
with
he
the
does.
captain.
First of all, Spock has many solo stories. I have many, even short, like mini novels
Comic
written
books?
about me. Yeah, there's multiple storylines just around Spock.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Taskmaster or Spock. Who
Let
will
us
debate
know.
Who will win the battle? Hey, we're gonna have more of this nerd Rican guy, but we have to go to the commercial break. And if you'd like to see this show, part of the show again, let us know. So take it, music guy.
Again, raising money so we can have our own band.
LDM Radio.
Welcome back. Okay, I'm just getting off the kinks over here from the fight, you know, what can I say? And now for the next subject that we're going to talk about. I'm going to be honest when I say this, and the topic is going to be when streaming services, you know which ones I'm talking about, take property like anything from DC or Marvel, what have you, or Star Wars or what have you, or Star Trek or what have you, and they don't get it right. They don't treat it right. They don't, you know, follow through because, hey, in the end of the day, it's us who are going to be paying to watch this. It's us who are going to sit in the theaters and pay money and popcorn and dinners and what have you to see this. So try to give that source material the respect that we deserve to watch. You know, for instance, like HBO Max. You know, they have their lineup. They're coming with the returning of Smallville, and of course HBO's The Lanterns. Now the Lanterns I get because, quite frankly, there hasn't been enough lore in, you know, the universe of film or whatever, with the exception of Ryan Reynolds' version, which is kind of, you're either on the fence or off the fence about it.
I don't think anybody's on the fence with that movie, bro.
I've heard a few.
Never
No,
met,
I've heard. Don't get me wrong.
Betty.
So moving that, putting that to the side. So now you have this new iteration, which is going to feature Hal Jordan. It's going to feature John Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Not John Jones. That's Martian Manhunter. Excuse me.
Oh, that's my baby.
So you're still featuring two lanterns storyline
You mean
regarding,
John Stewart.
John Stewart. I know I was going to hear that in the comments, but either
They're
way.
all Green Lanterns, yes.
Yeah, all of it's going to open the universe.
No. I could be red, I could be blue, I could be violet.
Oh, that. It's the rainbow. I'm sorry. It's too many characters. All of it. To put it together and just be over with.
I once walking around found.
Or just a quote. There shall be one ring.
Not even that. I was chosen, by the way, once when I was walking around the city during a snowstorm or whatever. I was walking, and the one time I'd seen something in the snow, and it was this weird purple thing, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I picked it up, and it was a violet lantern ring. So I was literally chosen to be a violet lantern. So I'm dead. I swear to God.
Well,
I still have that in storage too.
That being said, I mean, the first part with Smallville, I don't know. I mean, I've watched throughout the years the original Smallville, and I get it. They said it that there was never going to be the suit involved. The story is about Clark Kent becoming Superman. And the suit is not even an original suit. It's Brandon Routh's old suit from Superman Returns. I saw it in the box immediately. I said, why are they giving them that? Then they talked about in one magazine article.
That's actually pretty accurate to the Clark Kent lore that he just received hand-me-downs. And they were like, here you go.
I'm like, damn, bro. It couldn't, but his mom was in government. She had it made for him. I said, coño, you couldn't spend just a little extra, change the S a little bit.
See, now,
you handed down Brandon Routh's uniform.
Weird question, right? This is always something I've always been curious about Superman. Like, that does not to do with Green Lanterns. I've always wondered how that works, right? His mom sewed his suit for him, right?
No, she fixed this one up. This
right?
one in Smallville, she had it done.
Don't they describe the suit as being like bulletproof and all that? How did Mama Kent sew it?
Well, I don't want to get technical, but he's the one that's bulletproof, not the material.
No, that's the comic book thing, all right? Like,
right.
Multiple times you see him get shot, and there's like holes that pop up.
Oh well, only one time. Wait, there was.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on a second. It's only when it's kryptonite. Other than that, he never really gets like holes.
Hold on a second. Only one suit in the Superman lore was ever a suit that was made for it, and that's in the New 52. When he wore that suit, the suit came upon him. It's that Kryptonian battle suit, and that's why he wore it. And it looks like his normal flying suit, except it doesn't have the underwear on the outside like most people complained about. It's all one suit, but that one is Kryptonian battle armor. So while he's still bulletproof, but the armor is supposed to give him an extra layer of protection. That's it.
I just remember New 52 because of the poster drawing the line at $2.99.
And then Crisis happened.
When it comes to Superman, just like you said, you have guys that don't know what they're doing. I have so many questions about Superman. Especially there was one in the comics that he went to space. Why did he need a spacesuit?
Because he can breathe in the atmosphere.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can breathe.
Technically, because he could fly.
It's conflicting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Conflicting.
I thought you meant like, why didn't he have a spacesuit?
No, he had a spacesuit on to go
into space.
Why would he need a spacesuit?
Maybe he just wanted to not like he wanted to fit in. It was like, well, everyone else is wearing it, then he wanted to.
He was battling somebody who put a battle armor. No one could beat him because he's armed. Why do we need a battle armor? These are the questions that I say, like, when I read these things, like, why?
They gotta sell toys and costumes somehow.
That's what I'm thinking.
So they
advertising.
Superman at twins.
Advertising.
I'm so sick of that.
Without that, you got nothing.
But I'm like, you don't need none of that.
No.
Clothes.
He's bulletproof, period.
I know. It might rip in the wash. It doesn't matter. But why?
Yeah, because there's too many times.
Technically, every time we see a suit, it should be like patchwork every time next time we see it, because like it like heals properly. Because even if you sew those holes, like they're still gonna like there's gonna be pinching. There's gonna be like if that would sell me on Superman, right? Is if every time he popped back up there was like patchwork work on his costume, and I'd be like, yeah.
If you want it to be sold, do it like the way Nova did it. In the Nova Corps, the suit is adaptive. So it's made to convert into a combat mode. And when he goes into space, his helmet drops down and he has forever oxygen so that he can fly through space.
Okay, but he needs
If that
that.
was, like, he needs that.
Nova needs that. Too.
Nova needs that because he still,
No,
while
he
he still
doesn't.
has Xandarian energy in him and does what he does, he still breathes air like anyone else. But the same thing about Superman. But how they managed to do it, like in everything from all the Superman titles, all the Superman films, that he's standing above the Earth. Well, guess what? You're in space, and you're just.
But then when he wanted to go in space, further
But you're already in space. It's like once you get past the Earth, past the stratosphere, it's space. If you took like in Brandon Routh's version of Superman Returns, and you took that kryptonite little city and threw it out there, and okay, it's still space. It's being hauled out into space. It's going away. It's bye bye. It's new Krypton. You know, same thing with was it Man of Steel? Boom, bump the door. The ship is in space. So hovering about geosynchronous orbit.
Do you think maybe sometimes he forgets he can do those things? He's like, oh, I can do that space. Like, oh,
But no, they proved it in Supergirl. But they proved it with Supergirl when she went up and when she got past the stratosphere, you're like, oh my God. And then she went down. She went down because she couldn't breathe out in space. It made her believable. But if she's Kryptonian like him, she should have been like, oh,
she was probably drunk. Sorry. And I say this in full heart, like knowing how she's the party girl, she was probably lit on something and was like, that's why she couldn't breathe in space.
There was no red sun. The thing was yellow.
Yeah, totally dark.
That's why she went to places that they said red sun.
So only the male Kryptonians can breathe in space then.
He's wearing a whole astronaut suit to go to space.
Exactly why I say it's a confusion. It's like writers' source material is right there. You're about 10 minutes away from a comic book store. Read, God, Jesus Christ, just read.
And if you're gonna
you'd be
create
surprised.
something new, create something new with finesse. Like make it awesome. Don't just throw it in there to throw it in there and be like, oh, whatever.
I mean,
no one's gonna care.
I know no one might not agree with this opinion that I have, but with Man of Steel, I knew that they went to a source material because it mimicked a book called Superman Earth 1. And it had a lot of the same things. So I was like, to me, it's like, there's your source material. Because I recognized it already. He didn't have a Fortress of Solitude. He found the ship, because that was a ship in here too. Fortunately, that one's now sitting somewhere being researched, but they followed it to a certain degree. You know, that he's walking across the earth trying to find out who the hell is he. He's letting his instincts take him somewhere. It's not like in Christopher Reeve, the crystal is telling him where to go. Same thing with Tyler Hoechlin. The crystal that he had in his hand that he was embedded with the ship with is telling him where to go.
Where does it go in the snow? It's like the Antarctic.
It goes in the snow and then
connected
boom.
with it? Like, have they ever done like a storyline about the Antarctic being connected to something to do with Krypton? See, that's something that maybe that.
If you guys out there know it, please tell us.
Because
I'm
that
pretty
would
sure
make
there
sense
is.
if like maybe there's a connection there, like maybe like a part of Krypton like fell in a meteorite and that's why they're being drawn there.
No.
Here goes one. The same thing with the stuff. They sent them to Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
As he was coming to Earth, their planet blew up.
Right.
So how the heck he sent that message down to the Earth with the whole capsule?
Well, if I remember correctly, the crystal was put in the capsule and contained all that information. So all that talk was happening from the crystal.
The whole thing came out on elastic. The whole thing, the crystal came, everything.
Yeah.
How did that get there? And how did all this other stuff get there? If it
Because
blew up before he got there?
again, the crystal.
They didn't even know where he was going to land.
True.
No, actually, I know this.
So that's why I was like, I need information.
Funny enough, I know this. So there's a storyline, I forgot which one it is, where they say that he chose where to send him.
That was in Smallville.
Well, then it was small.
That was
Somewhere. One of
Smallville.
those
Smallville,
things,
when the time was coming,
where to say.
he
I
chose
can
where he
Google
was
it
going to
while
go.
we're here.
It
To say.
does say, I chose him to go to Earth.
Yes.
No. Chose him to. No. He chose the Kents. Like he actively chose the
No,
Kents.
I'm just saying, like, how, like they say you land and all of a sudden, hey, Bo, I left you a message. How the freak you left me a message? Didn't you blow up before I even landed?
No.
Before we even thought the planet. So that tells me the dad and the mother already knew what was going to happen to the planet.
Yeah.
Many years
In
before.
Smallville, they went into more detail where he said he was preparing for this day and preparing as far as his
It
son
says in
was concerned.
Smallville specifically.
It was in Smallville, and they had an episode in which Jor-El projected himself onto that planet using Kryptonian technology and went there projected wise and saw and watched Ma and Pa Kent and saw how they were and said, this is the place I want my son to be raised as here. Because remember, you always have that book when that question, what was he sent somewhere else? Well, that's when you have that book, Superman Red Sun, where he wound up in Russia, Mother Russia, instead of Smallville.
We also have a Mexican Superman too, who ended up across the border and being raised that way too. So like, it's subjectively speaking, is where he.
I'm saying they pick the cats. You can't pick a person if it's randomly just gonna fall.
Yeah.
Right.
So how the heck you knew that the cats were driving in that center? You couldn't.
You could.
Yeah.
The concept of that already screwed it up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But he knew where to. He knew where to send them.
Yeah.
He knew to send them to their farm, and it landed close to their farm.
And this is strictly
So
Smallville.
he knew, and when they hear a boom, they gotta come out.
He just fell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just so happened. Anybody could have picked him up in the alternate universe where they had Flashpoint. He was picked up by the government.
Yep.
And he was being raised underground. He had no connection
No
to life.
sun.
He was all skinny, and all he had was like part of Cyborg's body. Because Cyborg was also like split in half, and like that scene when he finally goes outside and Cyborg is dead, and he's just holding his dead body, like there's alternate versions that show it could have been anybody, literally. It's just that he was hoping it would be better.
So that's why I'm worried that I'm a little concerned that you're bringing back something, but how are you bringing it back? Because remember, it ended with him on the suit. And as far as for people to know, this is how small we saw him in the suit. So it's not, and they still kept to their whole thing that there's no suit involved. It's supposed to be the story of Clark Kent becoming this. But why'd you give him the suit? And then you hit it with a very brilliant and yet kind of emotional moment when he first has the suit. He's dressed and he's holding it in his hands. You see the circle, and he's about to take off and fly, and he's flying, and all you see is just nothing but this part. Right. And then at some point, they show you just the cape just covering over him, and all of a sudden, boom, he blows out. But he's wearing a suit, so if you had to freeze frame it,
I said 10 years of
boom,
edging.
freeze frame it so you can
2
see it.
seconds of screen time.
Why does that S look so stretched? You know?
Coming back, are they going to continue from when there, or are they just going to start Smallville all over again?
Oh, well,
It's supposed to be a continuation, I think.
it's a continuation. No, I read it's a continuation. He's supposed to be Superman at this point. This is supposed to be the adventures of Superman forward, because in Flashpoint, the CW, when they go to his Earth, he's got a billboard that shows 3 newspaper articles of Superman, what Superman has done. And of course, at that point, he already had given up the powers, and he's wearing the blue kryptonite as a ring. So long as that ring is on him, he's as human as any one of us is. And he's a farm boy with Lois, and they have 2 children. That's why when Lex came to him, he said, "But you were a god!" And then he stepped on a toy, and he's like, "You gotta be kidding me." I said, that's the best thing I've ever did in giving up my powers, is having children. That's it. So in that respect, it's like, is it going to continue from that point? Because remember, you gave us that point now. So in this instance, like Tyler Hoechlin, when he had the 2 boys, that means you have 2 kids, you should be still on your farm, and still Clark Kent, Daily Planet, or are you Superman? Did you take off the ring for some other reason, or is it before this happened and you and Erica started having children? So that's questionable. And then where do you go from there? How do you structure this? How do you structure this story?
You have the older brother getting more jealous, and he becomes the evil Superman. That's how you do it.
Well, that one's in. Superman and
I
Lois.
was thinking in my head, wouldn't it be funny if the show starts out like he's broke, he sold his suit to make money, like he got nothing. He's like, yo, I got this suit.
It's new.
It was worn by Superman. I'm a Superman.
Yeah, one time more.
He's like, I got this from Superman. You need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be an interesting take at his lowest. I think it'd be cool is if they do a Smallville.
About the original Superman with Christopher Reeve, that strong, and you see the
Superman
fear
3.
come out.
The
Yeah,
fake
but that was because
kryptonite.
he was separated,
They made
wasn't
fake
he?
kryptonite, and it brought his evil half out.
But
Yeah.
that was like on one of his lowest too. He was on, you know,
Well, it wasn't him particularly, but the fake kryptonite, because he couldn't find the element that makes it, that made him evil. You know, it made him just like question people.
That was so dumb.
Like fathers, why did parents didn't send something to protect them?
Why did they? Or they didn't warn him about it because he didn't know about it either until he was like, yeah.
He found out.
No, I think it'd be cool if they did the
Now
show,
that's when he needs the suit.
right?
That's when he needs a suit. When the kryptonite comes out. You know what
I
I mean?
personally
Exactly.
don't think we need another Smallville show. I watched Smallville. I was the target audience, a teenager watching that. It was all right, but like if they do it, and I'm just saying CW, if you do this, like I will take back every bad thing. Not CW, sorry,
HBO
HBO.
Max.
I said
HBO Max.
CW because that's where it was on originally. If you do this, I will take back any bad thing I've ever said about this show or Superman in general. But if they do it and they're like, oh, it's Smallville, but it's an alternate universe where it's not the same, like it is the Clark Kent that we know from that, but like in an alternate like universe, different directional. So it's like we already know he ended up with the two kids. Okay, but what would be the opposite? What would be that? And do like a darker, grittier take? I would be all for that. Because I like darker, grittier takes on characters that are usually very scrubbed, squeaky clean. Like, we need darker versions of those characters. And in comic books, there's tons of representation of it. But on screen, they're like, well, we don't want the kids to see the dark version. Like, screw the kids. This character was not made for kids. This is
This is
an adult.
HBO Max. Hello.
Exactly. Like, if you are not...
And they are in the comic books. They're already
Dawn.
doing that. But this is saying in the comic books they are doing something grittier like that. What
Red
happened?
Dawn.
Red Dawn, right?
Red Dawn, but that was when
Yeah.
he was Russian.
Yeah,
He was
what I'm
Russian.
saying, that's an alternate type of thing.
Yeah.
That's an alternate. He didn't land in Smallville and landed in Russia. He became, Mother Russia's hero.
No, but this will still be the same Clark Kent who ended up in
Right.
Smallville, but in a different way.
He's the best salsa singer, dancer.
I told you,
There
we
you
got
go.
a Mexican one.
There you go.
So Puerto Rican is right there.
He
Right
could be
there.
running a lechoneta for all you know. Lechoneta by day. Hey, something happening. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Huh? You'll have like a
He would've
pocket.
been-
He'll have a pocket.
He be selling the best
He'll have a
Mexico you
pocket
could
thing
ever
over here
imagine.
with a little Bluetooth battery, and as he's taking off, you start hearing Mark Anthony. Aguadile.
But yeah, no, I would love that if they did like a darker, grittier take on it and not just continued like, because Smallville also had issues where like the continuity issues and stuff like that. I don't want to say that this was my first introduction to like Superman as a character, but this was my first introduction to the story version of Superman. Because I knew him as a concept as a character, but I wasn't reading Superman. So that's why I was like, I don't really think this show needs a continuation, but if you do a darker version and you make it like gritty, like adult, then I'm there.
That's why for me, it's like out of all the iterations I've seen, both on television and film, okay, I personally like more, and only because the way he acted the character out, and the stories were actually pretty decent. Tyler Hoechlin, Superman and Lois, because he was, as I've always said in the past, he's not just the hero wearing the emblem of hope, but he's also a father. And there've been times that he's had to break it down to his kids, and even if one of them started developing powers, he still acted like a parent. They'll punish them if they needed to be punished. They gave him that talking
Some
to.
of those kids need beatings though. They need to be beat.
And then he's
There were
he's
episodes where I'm like a
husband.
gupotazo would put him in his place.
I'm serious. Well, I was close to it in certain instances. I was close to one of those things. And then he's a husband at the night, and he's afraid of his wife. And I was like, dude,
Good
you
man.
could just, and then boom, right out the window.
Good
No, hold on,
man.
let me hold on.
Good man. She's the god in the house.
She's the god in the house. I'm telling you, man. She locks it down. She lets us
Superman
know.
versus Lois. Let's
There
go.
was one- Oh, what? I've already seen it when they're about to get in.
Straight hands.
She
He's
gave him a
not gonna
look.
be able to fight. He's gonna be like, oh no.
No, she gave him a look. In the
no.
show, she gave him a look. She gave him that side eye. And he was like, ooh.
Are we sure Lois is not Puerto Rican? España. And on that note,
That note, again, give us your opinions. Go to our Facebook page. Write it all down. If you got an idea, let us know about it. And if we use it, we'll give you credit. If you something you want us to talk about, put it on there, man. We would love to talk about it. So until then, I'm Mo.
I'm Spawn of Satan.
And live long and prosper. Until next time.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerd